Coming up today on That LTD Life, join me as I check out Nexter, a new WordPress toolkit. It's a theme, it's a set of blocks, and it's a whole bunch of extensions that are going to replace the need for a bunch of third-party tools that you're probably paying a lot of money for. Nexter is currently available as a lifetime deal over at AppSumo, but the FOMO is getting to me. There's only 14 days left of the deal, and there are 3 plans available. The only one that I'm looking at is Tier 3 here because as an agency owner, we get white labeling on Tier 3, but if you're just running a business for yourself, you can build 1 or 10 sites on Tier 1 or Tier 2. Now, there really is so much to show you inside of Nexter, so I'm going to take the approach of building a site out from scratch. Here is my website. It is completely blank. I'll show you around the back end. There's almost nothing installed. When it comes to themes, I've got the default 2025 theme installed. That's just temporary. We're going to replace it. And then as far as plugins go, there is nothing installed right now. Of course, we will be adding in Nexter as we go. Before we go any further, I do need to let you know about the sponsor of today's video, AppSumo, my absolute favorite place to buy software for my business. I have personally been an AppSumo customer since about 2014, and it's always my first stop anytime I need a new tool for my business. If you're a longtime viewer of this channel, you know that I review a lot of AppSumo lifetime deals, and that's because I love this stuff and I love getting a great deal. Pick up a great deal for yourself by clicking on the link in the description. It helps you out, you get a good price, and it also helps this channel. All right, onwards to Nexter. All right, first things first, I'm gonna take this incrementally. We've got this kind of ugly theme installed. You saw what it looked like, it's just blank. I'm gonna go ahead and install the Nexter theme. We can do this completely for free. We do not need the AppSumo lifetime deal to check this out. So go ahead and download it, try it out, and see what you think of the theme on its own. Know that there are gonna be some missing components. Obviously, you get more with the paid version, but this is what we want right here, Nexter. I'm gonna install this. Now, one thing I really like about Nexter is that it works well with Elementor. I know a lot of sites are built with Elementor. People like Elementor. It's the biggest page builder in the WordPress ecosystem, and you don't have to give that up just to switch over to Nexter. So that's a very smart move in my opinion. All right, I've got Nexter installed. I just went into themes and added a new one. It's right off the WordPress repository, and now it's asking me to view my site. And right away, it looks better. Nothing too special, but it definitely looks more styled than the default theme. Now, when it comes to the Nexter free theme, it can definitely keep up with everything else out there in the free space. So for example, if I just go to the customizer here, this is one thing a lot of people kind of get tripped up on as they get used to WordPress. The customizer is customizable by the theme creator. So the options that are available here might change depending on the theme that you have. So here we've got like a general section that allows you to customize just about every component of the look of the website. Now, Nexter does have a full theme builder baked into its pro extension. We will look at that for sure, but there's a ton of features here. If you're a visual person and you don't want all of the power, it's definitely going to get you most of the way there just using the free version. They make doing things that a lot of people request very easy, like there's a header disable button, like that's very simple. Just click that and it disables the header on the whole website. So if you're using Nexter to just build out a landing page and you don't really want a header or a footer, it's very easy to toggle a button and have it go away. Or another thing that comes up a lot of the time is like feature images get inserted into themes all the time. Well, guess what? If I go to pages, single page, I can hide the featured image. It's a line of code that you normally need to have someone write for you and you copy and paste it into a setting somewhere. Well, there's a toggle switch for that. It's just the simple things that I like they included this in the free version. Of course, we've got settings for all of the genuinely important things as well, not just the nice to haves, your fonts, your colors. That's all stuff you can customize here. You can see there's a styling color section. This is where you can set up all of your different text colors, your link colors. And then if we go out to the typography section, we can do it on a heading basis, a body copy basis, where we can set up our font family and our sizes and everything that you want. It's fully mobile responsive, so you can do this on a desktop, tablet, as well as mobile view. All right, tons of settings here, but let's move on to the next component, which is going to be the Nexter extension. So I'm gonna go back to my dashboard and you can see they're gonna nag me here. Now, one thing that Nexter does in their pro extension is it allows you to get rid of these nag screens, which is honestly one of the biggest complaints I hear from clients is they hate having all of the banners inside of WordPress. It just makes everything look super trashy. So Nexter's got a solution for that. And honestly, it does so much. You won't need very many third third-party tools that will also pollute your client's dashboard or your dashboard for that matter. So let's go ahead and install the Nexter extension. I'm going to activate this plugin. Now this again is the totally free version. So we have not bought anything at AppSumo at this point. And I've got a new item over here on my menu bar. It's called Nexter extension. The first tool inside of the Nexter extension is the theme builder. This is going to allow you to build out your website exactly as you envision. No limitations of the customizer here and no need for external CSS to style things. So if I wanted to build out a beautiful header that isn't otherwise possible with my theme settings, I'll click right up here where it says add new template, and then I'll just choose header as the layout type, and I'll give it like main header as my title. Doesn't really matter what you call it here as long as you can remember what it is. Unless you're working with a team, and then definitely stick to your naming conventions. And I'm going to include this on the entire website, but I could include it on particular pages or particular posts if I want as well, because there is an include and exclude section. So if I wanted it on the whole website, but one particular landing page, I could find that landing page here. Just down at the bottom, it says particular page post taxonomies. So I could find that post here just searching for it. But for now, I'm good with building out the entire website. So I'll hit create. And now I'm taken into the WordPress editor where I can use whatever tools I'd like to create my new header. Now, of course, I'm going to build out my header with the Nexter blocks so I can show you how they work. So I'm going to press pause. I'm building out my header for now. After our theme builder, we've got a code snippets tool, which I love this. It's on by default. You can turn this off if you don't want it. If you want to use your own snippets tool, that is completely fine. But you know, honestly, gonna be everything that you probably need. And it's one plugin to keep updated so that your site is secure. I take over a lot of websites from other businesses that were self-managing their WordPress website. Sometimes they have 2 or 3 snippets plugins running because they just don't know where stuff is. So I think you'll find that this is a very full-featured tool, even in the free version. We will get some additional features if we go up to Pro, and I'll show you that here in a moment. If I create a new snippet, I can choose between PHP, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. These are all available in the free version. Sometimes they lock these down, so you gotta upgrade to, run CSS or something like that, but they're all available in the free version. And there's basically everything you're gonna need here. A few nice to haves in the Pro version, but the free is great. So we've got automatic placement, or we can choose the exact placement. There's also the ability to insert via shortcode, which you can see is reserved for Pro. By the way, you will get access to all of these features on the AppSumo LTD, and I'm gonna install that in a moment, but I wanted to show you everything you get for free first. Then, as far as the other elements here, we can insert our snippets site-wide on specific pages or posts, or on e-commerce specific pages. Now it says no supported e-commerce plugins are installed. I don't have anything running on this website, so that's why you see that. And then we have conditional logic, a pro feature in my mind, but you get a lot of it here for free. So if I turn this on, you can see that we've got a few different types of conditional logic that we can use. There are user conditions, content location conditions, e-commerce, as well as advanced conditions. A bunch of these are for the Pro version only, but some really useful ones are not, like content location conditions. Maybe I want a bit of code to just show up on a particular page. Now that is dead simple to do. After the code snippets tool is the utility section, and this is where you can basically replace 3 or 4 different performance plugins that you're already using on your website. For example, if you want to use custom fonts, check a box, have that on, hit the gear icon, you can upload your own custom font. Search and replace, let's say you just migrated domains. You want to go ahead and search your database and update everything. Well, no need to go find that plugin. It's right over here. Replace URL and text, toggle it on, hit the gear icon, and then enter in the old URL, the new URL, and anything else that you might want to replace on specific tables. You know the plugin we're looking at here. It's all built right in. Duplicate posts, check, we've got that as well. SMTP email support is now available in beta inside of Nexter. I love this. It's a huge problem in the WordPress space. A lot of people don't understand that they need to do some configuration in order to get their WooCommerce receipts to show up in people's inboxes. Well, now you see it here. You toggle the switch, you enter in your Gmail or custom SMTP information, and your website can send off those transactional emails. On top of the great utilities section here, there's also a performance section, which is going to allow you to speed up your WordPress website considerably. Shades of perf matters here, maybe not as powerful without the script manager, but dang close. If you're using tools like auto optimize, you're not going to need that anymore. So if we go under advanced performance here, you're going to see a lot of toggle switches that will probably look familiar to you from other WordPress performance tools. So we can do things like disable embeds or turn off dash icons, disable emoji scripts. All of this can be easily done with a single check mark. Gosh, when I look at this, I think, why doesn't WordPress just do this? But it doesn't, so we need Nexter. It certainly makes everything a lot easier. I mean, we can do heartbeat control here, so that's gonna really speed up your WordPress website. It's not gonna use nearly as much CPU if you go ahead and set this up to be a little bit more conservative than the default settings. We can self-host Google Fonts with a single click. Display swap, turn that on. Disable Google Fonts so that it doesn't show up on your website at all. Disabling comments, I'm really just glowing here, but I'm so impressed with this tool. There's so much that you can do, and we haven't really even gotten into building a website yet. In the security section, there are a ton of useful features here, most of them free, but some of them are definitely worth paying for. So under advanced security, we've got a lot of toggle switches here that your typical WordPress security plugin will provide, but some that you're definitely gonna want, like hiding your email from spam bots or hiding telephone numbers from spam bots, that is included. We can also go ahead and hide the WordPress version. This is just kind of all standard stuff that your security plugin would probably do, but again, we don't need that anymore. I love that it has support for Cloudflare Turnstile, so I just toggle this on, hit the gear icon, and I can either use Google reCAPTCHA or my personal favorite, which is Cloudflare Turnstile. I've got a dedicated video on setting up Turnstile. You could replace the tool I use in that video with Nexter. Just go ahead and enter your site key and secret key in here. Choose what types of forms you want the Cloudflare logo to appear on, and you'll also be able to use it with WooCommerce and WordPress forms fairly shortly. Some other things you might want to turn on, especially if you're a course creator or a membership site owner, is two-factor authentication. One thing this does is, of course, keeps your website more secure, but it also prevents people from being able to share passwords quite as easily. We've also got content protection here. Now, these are both pro features. You know what? Let's go ahead and get the pro version installed and we can dig into these a little deeper. I gotta show you, like, everything I've been looking at is just one plugin. So we've got two active plugins on the website, Redis and Nexter. Now we're gonna upgrade to Pro. So I've got the Pro extension here. I downloaded it from Nexter after I got my AppSumo purchase. So I'm gonna go ahead and install here. All right, so now I just have 3 plugins, and if I head back over to the Nexter extension, I've got all of the features enabled. So we were looking at security, and I was talking about the content protection. This is going to enable the ability to disable copy and paste, right? So people can't go into your articles and very easily copy and paste them. I think a lot of content protection is just about making things inconvenient for people. Of course, there's always going to be a way, but with a simple click of the mouse, you can go ahead and disable Command-C or disable selecting of text. That's certainly going to make it harder for the average person to just scrape your content, post it into ChatGPT, regurgitate it into their own content, and basically rip off all of your hard work. So I did something a little bit weird off camera. I just disabled the Pro version so that as I moved on to the admin interface here, you can see what's included in the free version and what's in the Pro version. So a lot is included in free here. A lot of the things you'll probably want, like a clean admin bar. This is gonna allow me to like remove the WordPress logo or hide the home icon, which these two icons up here I really don't need. I can also remove the updates or counter link. All right, let's turn all of these on. Hit save. There we go. It's a lot more clean. And we can get rid of even more stuff, of course, if we keep turning on toggle switches. Like howdy, well, I don't really need that. Let's go ahead and get rid of that as well. Looks better. It looks more professional for sure. Or have you ever had a item on your admin bar that just had too long of a name and it kind of got cut off and just looks bad? Well, there's a toggle switch for that. We can go ahead and turn this on, set the width of the admin menu. And now if I reload the page, you're going to see that it's a lot wider. Not really a look I want to go for, but if it works for you, maybe you've got larger text over here and you just need more space, definitely makes sense. Or my personal favorite is the disable admin settings section, where you can get rid of a lot of the garbage, like the remove welcome panel that seems to show up every single time I log in, no matter how many times I dismiss it, or the added glance section to let you know what's new with WordPress. I don't care. I'm sorry, but I don't. I got stuff to do. Yeah, WordPress news and events, I will find out elsewhere. I don't need to see it on every single client site, nor do my clients need to see that stuff. So for example, like here is those WordPress news and events. Now, I could honestly hide this by going up here and then toggling off news and events, but that's only for my account. It's not gonna disable it for all of my clients' accounts, and I don't wanna log into each individual account and set up their welcome screen. So instead, I can go into the Nexter extension, go to the dashboard, find my admin interface settings. I'm gonna toggle this on. I've already got the news and events hidden. Let's go ahead and visit the dashboard again. Here it is, and now my screen elements here have shrunk to a minimum. It's not that it's just hidden, it's completely removed. It's not going to ever show up. All right, a couple more more features here, and then we're gonna build out this site. I wanna show you the admin menu organizer next. And for that, I need to turn back on my Pro plugin. All right, just like that, it is enabled again, and I'm gonna toggle this setting on. Now, I'm going to hit reload on my keyboard, Command R, and now I've got a different option over here. I got the admin menu showing up over here on my left-hand sidebar. If I click on this, I can see all of the items in my admin menu, which is exactly what you see over here. We've got the dashboard and then a spacer, then posts, media, pages, and you can see that right here, dashboard, separator, post, media, pages. Well, let's go ahead and say that I want my pages to be up at the top. I'm not doing a lot of posts here. I'm just gonna move it up. We can probably get rid of this. I'll just go ahead and hide until toggled on and hit save changes. And now I've reloaded the page and my pages are right underneath the dashboard where I want them. Now, I don't have a lot of plugins enabled on this site, but if I were running WooCommerce and I was running LearnDash all on the same website, maybe I've got FunnelKit in here for doing automations and emails. Well, this is gonna get pretty long just with those 3 plugins installed. And so it might be really nice to get stuff exactly where you want it, make it easy for your clients to find the most important tools. It's really cool here. Even the items that have submenus like the Nexter extension, you can click on that and then you can rearrange inside of the extension. So sometimes there's a bunch of features that I'm just never going to use and I can hide those if I want. There's one more item I want to show you, and that is the branded WP admin. This is the login screen. So if we turn this on, click the gear icon, now we can completely customize the login screen. So it's not just the boring old WordPress login. You know the one, it looks like this. It's got the WordPress logo. You enter your username and password in. That's fine if it's just your own website and you're the only one who's ever going to log in. But if it's your client's website, put their own logo on it so that they feel some pride when they visit their website. If you've got customers logging in, you definitely want to get another chance to show them your logo, get that branding burned into their brain. So what we can do here is go ahead and customize the form with our own logo, change the color of the buttons, add in a footer, change the labels. It's all here. My one problem with this section is they should just make it bigger. It's all hidden here behind the little dinky scroll. I've got a nice big monitor. Let me use that screen real estate. Now I went ahead and just customized this really quick. It's very simple to do. I align mine to the left. Of course, I could center or right align it. I changed the background color to be gray. And then for the form itself, I uploaded my logo. It's white, so you can't see anything here. I made the background black behind the logo, changed the button color, and then just made the text white. And here's what it looks like. I think it looks pretty cool. Certainly a big improvement over the default WordPress login. Okay, so those are all of the tools we get with the Nexter extension. But guess what? There is another plugin to install, and it's Nexter Blocks. You can use this to build out your entire website. Let's check it out. So under plugins again, we'll go plugins, add new, and I'm just gonna search for Nexter Blocks. Here it is, the first one. I'm gonna click install now and activate. Now, Nexter Blocks, let's open up the settings here. It gives us the option between ready-made websites and using their WordPress blocks. The ready-made websites is actually going to install another one of their plugins for their templates, and they're great. We'll look at those, but let's get started just with some WordPress blocks. So I'm gonna click over here and hit continue. Next up, they want us to choose which blocks we want to use. And you might be thinking, well, I don't know what blocks I want to use. Well, I would say that less is more here. Choose the ones you think you'll be using, and you can always go back and add more. No reason to stress. They are organized very nicely here into essential, creative, tabbed, social, advanced, listing, builder, and extras. So really just a ton of different options. Now, if we upgrade to Pro, which I will do in a moment because it is included with the AppSumo deal, we're gonna get things like a pop-up builder and repeaters and taxonomy listings. I mean, you can just imagine all of the tools that are replaced by this. Pop-up builders, taxonomies, I mean, it's a lot. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn it on right now. Let's go ahead and upload our Pro version of the blocks, hit activate your license key, and you're good to go here. So if I head back over to my blocks, go to the dashboard, I'm gonna see that all of them are now available to me. I'm gonna just stick with the default options that they've given me. I'll hit continue and we'll move to the next section. In the next section, they want us to enable their templates plugin. Remember at the beginning, it had us choose between templates and blocks. Well, now they're asking us to also install their templates plugin. We can click through and see what some of them look like. They're all pretty nicely designed, so I definitely recommend turning on templates if you're gonna use them at all. Of course, if you're not, go ahead and hit the skip button, but for the sake of this video and trying out all the features, I'm gonna do that. And with that, everything is installed and activated. We can check out our plugin list here, and you can see we're up to a total of 6 different plugins. Now let's start off the easy way by utilizing one of their templates, and then we'll look at what the individual blocks can do. So here under page kits, I can view all of their very nice templates here. So So let's go ahead and grab this one right here, which is a talent tree rise. It looks like a kids learning website. I can scroll through and preview what the site is going to look like. Very nicely designed. Stylistically, it looks very modern. You can see we've got an instructor section over here, course categories. I could see in loading this up and getting going right away by customizing the text. And basically that's all you'd need. I'll call this Swift School and I'll give it the tagline, learn anything fast. All right, hit next. Here I can add some other elements to add to my website. I'm gonna keep these off for now, but it's nice to know if you wanna add in e-commerce, you can toggle this on and they'll just go ahead and set that up for you. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and confirm that we are ready to go. It's asking you to make a backup because it's gonna obviously overwrite everything you already had. And we can go ahead and just generate our website. Now, cool enough, they do have a personalized content option coming. So this is gonna be an AI version of their templates, essentially replacing the stock text with AI generated text based on your answers. So that is coming soon, and I'm definitely interested to see when that ships. But in the meantime, my website here is being built out. All right, my website is ready. Let's go ahead and check out the site. All right, it looks great. This is the homepage here. I can scroll through just like the preview site looks. So very, very happy with that. I can click to the different pages up at the top. Let's check out the blog. We can see what the blog layout looks like. All right, there we go. Might be a little bit wide for me. Let's go ahead and change that by using the theme builder. So what I want to do is make this just more narrow. It's too long. There's too many words on one line. So rather than editing the post itself, I'm going to edit the template list, which is basically doing the layout for this post. There's a blog details template. All right, so this is the template. It does look a little bit weird because it's basically like placeholders for all of the content that will be filled in as you write blog posts. It's also going to give us our first look at some of their blocks. So you can see over here on the left, I've got the layout of everything on the screen. And then on the right, I've got the settings, kind of the conventional WordPress setup. Now the content goes right down here. And in fact, I can see that I've got the post meta info, the post content, all of the dynamic stuff is just being pulled in right through their block. So very, very in depth in terms of what their blocks can do. Now, the main container that's actually holding my content is right here. Right now it's set to just be too wide for me. So in desktop view, I don't really want this to go beyond, let's say 650 pixels. All right, there we go. That is much more narrow. It's a lot easier to read and you'll see what I mean in a moment. But if I were to change this over to the tablet view, well, now I want this to be a lot wider. So let's go ahead and switch this over to percentage. I will change that to 100% and that will carry down to the mobile view as well. So that will also be at 100%. So let's go ahead and save this and I'm just gonna go back to our blog post. So here we are, here's the blog post. Let's load this up and you can see right away, other than the image being maybe not the highest resolution, now it's a lot easier to read this post and my eyes don't get tired going side to side. A good rule of thumb is between 10 to 14 words per line. I think we're right at the sweet spot with that. Let's dig a little deeper into the page editing experience. So I've got the About Us page up here. I'm gonna open this up in the editor and we can just take a look at the layout here. So let's open up all of our different blocks. We can see all of the containers. There's a post title and a breadcrumb section here. If I wanted to add in an additional block, of course, that is very easy to do. The conventional way to do this in WordPress is simply to press return and then slash, and it's gonna give you a list of all of the built-in blocks. However, if we wanted to see all of the blocks that are available to us, we click the plus button right up here and we can see all of our Nextr blocks that we currently have enabled. So maybe I want to start off right underneath the breadcrumbs with a testimonial. I can simply drag and drop that in. It'll let me design from scratch or use a pre-designed template. Again, that's going to go back over to their tool. Here, we're just looking at only testimonial sections. So I'll find one that kind of fits. Like this one here looks pretty good. We can go ahead and click on it to preview it and then click on the little download button to insert it onto our website. All right, it didn't land exactly where I wanted. I mean, it probably makes more sense to be at the bottom of the page, but I do want to move it up to the top. So just showing you the drag and drop ability with Nextr very smoothly, a very nice experience as I'm editing the page. So there it is. Now the testimonial section is right below the About Us section and the breadcrumbs. Not a very logical place for it. I get that. Let's go ahead and move it maybe someplace that makes a little more sense, like further down the page. If you are a website development nerd and you want to know the nitty-gritty details of exactly how the website is being coded If we add in a container, we do have the option between Flexbox and Grid. They're both available. They work well in certain scenarios. By default, most of the templates are built out with Flexbox. Just know that. But if you want to go with Grid, you can, and you can choose your structure there. Now, quite honestly, there are so many different blocks, it would be impossible for me to show you every single one inside of this video. But if you want to know more about a particular block, just go ahead and get it installed on your WordPress website, and then go over to blocks and then blocks right here, and you'll be able to see a live demo of all of the blocks that are included in the package. You can toggle them on and off right here, just like we did when we were installing the plugin. And yeah, you can just get a good feel for what each individual tool does. Like maybe you're thinking, what does the info box look like? Click the live demo and you're gonna see exactly what it does. So these are info boxes. Here are some more info boxes. You get the idea. You've seen designs like this. Now it's very easy to implement without very much layout on your part. So there it is, a pretty thorough look at everything that's included with Nexter, the lifetime deal over at AppSumo. I highly recommend checking this out. This is not one you'll want to sleep on. If you're currently paying an annual subscription for something, this honestly might replace the need for any of those tools. $189 out there for you agency owners. You really can't beat that. I'm very enthusiastic about this one. I'm gonna give it an 8.9 out of 10. That's gonna do it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you want to grab a copy of Nexter, of course, I've got my link in the description. Hit like if you like the video. Drop me a comment if you have any questions or you want to engage in the ever persistent WordPress page builder wars. It's gonna do it for now. I will see you in the next review.